This is actually the whole point of this video. You might watch plenty of property things on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're going to watch them, and people are going to tell you to buy now, buy quickly, and hurry up, get in the market and instill some fear in you because they want to get some clicks to their links. I'm not here to tell you that. Today I want to answer the question that is on everybody's lips. Should you be buying property in 2026, considering what is happening all around us here in Australia? Most people think that waiting is the safest move right now, but in my opinion, I think they are completely and utterly wrong. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why and what you should be doing instead. And you might be thinking, David, who does this actually apply to? Well, it's going to apply if you're a first home buyer, a property investor, or even an existing mortgage holder. Everyone who has thought about buying property in the last 6 to 12 months has all of a sudden had their plans stalled. Whether it's buying that first home, buying that investment, using the equity, whatever your goal might be, your plans have stalled, and I can almost guarantee that. And if this sounds like something you've been doing, well, this video is for you. Because right now, the world feels incredibly uncertain. Rates didn't drop the way that we had all thought. AI is making you question whether your job is actually secure or not, and global conflict and the $3 petrol prices we are all driving past is making us feel really uneasy about the prospect of putting everything on the line to go ahead and buy property or go ahead and buy another property. And with everything happening around us, nobody even has a clean answer for this. So the instinct is to actually wait. And look, in some cases, that might actually be the right call. And I'm going to be honest about that all the way through this video. Waiting could be the right move for you, but I don't think it's the right move for everybody. It's the instinct to wait. It just might be the most expensive decision you make this entire year, even considering how expensive it is to fill up your petrol tank right now. So here is what I have noticed. Across every uncertain period in Australian property over the last 2 decades, those who came out on top weren't the ones with the perfect timing. They weren't even the ones who called the bottom of the market because let's face it, you can't do it. And they aren't even the people who said they saw this all coming. They did something else entirely. Something most people never even think to do when things feel incredibly uncertain. And yes, I'll be telling you exactly what that is, but first I need to show you why the question most people are asking right now is actually completely wrong. Sorry for the interruption. I've just been editing the video and I realized I never actually asked you to subscribe to the channel. I enjoy making these videos and making this content so much, I actually forget to ask you to support. When you subscribe to the channel, it helps push my content further out there and reach more people and educate more people. So if you are enjoying the content and have gotten some value out of it, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps it grow. Thank you, and back to the video. Everyone right now is asking the exact same thing. Is now a good time to buy? And I get it. It feels like the most important question on everybody's lips. Answer it and everything's going to fall into place and your life is going to be perfect for it. But it's the wrong question and I'm going to explain to you why. It assumes that there is one universal answer, one that applies to absolutely everybody's position and situation, regardless of their income, their equity, their goals, and their individual situation. There just simply isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. It is way more than that. And the next point is it assumes that waiting is actually a neutral game. Waiting is costing you something. It's never going to cost you nothing. If you're renting, every month that passes along by is another month that you're just paying someone else's mortgage. Now, of course, your deposit is going to grow as you continue renting because it is much cheaper to rent than it is to have a mortgage. But with the way that the rental market is right now, it is getting tighter and tighter, and it's never been easier to be able to get approved for your first home loan. And if you've got equity, the equity you are sitting on is absolutely not static. It's assessed on the current position. But what does that mean? That means that what is accessible today is not going to be accessible in 6 months' time, or may not be accessible. The main thing that we worry about is going to be the valuation. Now, valuations on property can fluctuate from bank to bank. I'm sure you've seen this already as well. Now, if a bank starts to tighten up their risk profiles across certain areas, they are going to shrink down those valuations just slightly, meaning that you can't access as much equity that you could have if you did this today. And the next thing is going to be, have you reviewed your loans at all? Do your loans serve you like they were serving you 3 years ago? And now there's many different reasons to actually reassess the structure or your home loans altogether. And the main one that comes to mind at the moment, especially in uncertain times, is to assess for the cash flow nature of it. If you are struggling to be able to pay for your home loan, or you just want to loosen up the cash flow in your household a little bit, you might want to consider different terms for your home loan, getting a better interest rate, or even refinancing right back out to 30 years. I don't always recommend it for everybody, but if you are going to refinance back out to 30 years, this can greatly help your cash flow in the household in the short term. But back to the crux of this video. There is a pattern in the data that dates back to 2007. Every few years, we have a bit of an issue that pops up. Whether it's the GFC, the European debt crisis, the mining bust, COVID, or even now what we're living through is the inflation wars. There's always something that is happening. And when something comes along, that very quickly destroys the confidence that is in and around the property market. And every single time, these same things happen. People wait. They tell themselves they'll start making moves when things settle down that little bit, but things rarely feel settled in the moment. So chances are you're actually going to wait a little bit too long. And by the time you're ready to take the opportunity, it has already slipped through your fingers. Now, Warren Buffett said this absolutely best. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. Yes, I understand he is talking about shares, but the premise is very similar when it comes to property. When there's not a lot of a demand sitting in the market and people are starting to get a little bit fearful, maybe even more people are listing their properties, we're getting an oversupply of properties or an increase in supply, probably not an oversupply. We're getting an increase in supply in property. What happens then? If you've done any basic economic research, when supply increases and demand decreases, then chances are you're going to get something that is a little bit cheaper. Now, I'm not saying that property prices are going to fall down and go very low. However, what I am saying though is that property always seems to rebound once all of these economic issues start to resolve themselves. But we can't talk about this topic without actually talking about what I'm starting to call the AI fear factor, and I'm actually a victim of it as well. It's not just rates or fuel prices that people are concerned with. They're worried about their income in 12 months' time. There is a lot of fear around job security, particularly in knowledge-based and technology-based roles. It's real and it is growing very fast. I don't know about your algorithms, but I get a lot of content around how AI agents, Claude Cowork, Claude Code, all these sorts of different things are impacting everyday productivity. People aren't just worried about property prices and where property prices are going to go, whether they increase or decrease. They're actually worried about the next 12 months and whether their income is going to stand the test of time. And look, I will admit that is not an irrational thought that you might be having. AI or artificial intelligence is definitely changing the landscape of the job market today. So that brings me to my next point. If your income feels uncertain, building a buffer and not taking on more debt, that is what you should be doing. I know it sounds so easy for me to say that, but I promise you that is the one thing you should be doing. Build yourself a buffer now, don't take any more debt, understand where you're sitting and just get ready to weather the storm. However, if you feel like your income is very stable across this whole AI boom and all the global uncertainty around us, then you might just be falling victim to the fear factor and not actually acting because you see the anxiety that's building up around you. And now this leads me directly into the one thing that separates people who come out ahead of everybody else. And it's incredibly boring, but I feel like it is incredibly powerful. So what does being prepared actually mean? Preparation isn't about making a bold decision to buy, sell, or refinance everything this second. It means getting into the best position to act despite what is happening next. It's not going to be timing, it's not going to be prediction, and it's not going to be crazy decision making. It just comes down to getting yourself into the best possible position that you could possibly get yourself into in these uncertain times. And it's going to come down to three things, and three things only in my opinion. It's going to be knowing your numbers, reviewing your structures, and understanding your intent. And I want to break each of those down one by one right now. First is understanding and knowing your actual numbers. Not a rough estimate of what you thought you could actually borrow 18 months ago. It's your real position, your right now position, under the current conditions that we are facing together. You need to find out what you can genuinely borrow today. I'm doing this myself. I'm working out what my borrowing capacity is right this second. That way, when the opportunity arises, I can strike with absolute confidence. You need to understand what your usable equity looks like if you are someone who's wanting to use their home to go ahead and invest in property. And now because rates are also moving, you need to understand, well, what are your repayments going to look like if rates move in either direction? Look, my personal take on this is, I feel like we're going to get one, maybe two more rate rises this year. But what happens when we go into a global recession? Even on a local level, interest rates start to fall very quickly. And I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but there is a pattern like we spoke about a little bit earlier. Rates go up, they tighten the economy, and then rates start to decrease as well. And what happens traditionally when rates decrease here in Australia? Well, property prices they go through the roof. So understand what your repayments are if rates start to rise, because I firmly believe we'll be getting one, maybe two more rate rises in 2026, and understand if you can stomach those repayments for now as well. The next one is going to be reviewing your structures, and you might be sucked into thinking that this is for someone who has a home loan already. Well, no, this also applies to first home buyers as well. You need to review how your money is split up, how you're saving your money, how you're spending your money. If you understand how your structures are set up both from a mortgage point of view and a personal spending point of view, then you can confidently get yourself into the right position to be able to make the next steps. One of the biggest things you should be doing right now is understanding whether your commitments can be reduced to build a buffer without affecting your long-term position. If your goal is to get into your first home, you need to know what those repayments look like, how you're going to structure yourself when you get that first home loan, and how you're going to stay clear with a buffer so you don't get yourself into some financial stress when rates start to increase. And the last one I want you to do is just really understand your intent. A lot of people come to me wanting to invest in property for the sake of investing. Others come to me to buy their first homes just for the sake of buying their first home because they feel like that's the right thing that they need to be doing at this time. But sometimes people come to me and they don't have a solid plan. But you need to understand, what does a solid plan look like for you? And I can't make that decision for you. That's a you decision. Are you someone who already owns a home and you're planning on staying there for 10 plus years and wants to build out a retirement portfolio alongside your home? Are you at the start of your journey wanting to buy your first home and build your wealth using that first home? Or are you looking to reinvest your way into a larger principal place of residence, which is becoming a very popular way to do things at the moment? Really understanding your goals and what you want out of this is going to determine your next step and how you should be approaching it on an individual level. The overarching theme of this entire video is that there's no one size fits all answer. It's just simply not how it works. And some people will go through all of these three questions and the answer might genuinely be, you need to wait. That's fine. This is actually the whole point of this video. You might watch plenty of property things on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're going to watch them, and people are going to tell you to buy now, buy quickly, and hurry up, get in the market and instill some fear in you because they want to get some clicks to their links. I'm not here to tell you that. I want you to understand exactly what you want to do. And if you feel like investing in property or buying your first home is the right thing to be doing, then that's when I want you to go into the description, click on the link, book in a call with me, because then we can go over your real numbers with some real intent and understand where we can get you even in the times of uncertainty if you are ready to.